You ain't bout it, you ain't bout it, you ain't KIEQ on the mic. You ain't bout it, you ain't bout it, you ain't KIEQ on the mic. You can go and subscribe, cause I be on it right. You ain't bout it, you ain't bout it, you ain't KIEQ on the mic.
Are the Chicago Bears closing on a deal with quarterback Caleb Williams? We actually got an encouraging update from Caleb Williams himself. Hey, what's going on, Bears fans? Thank you so much for joining me for another episode of KIEQ on the Mic, the podcast all about the Chicago Bears. As always, if you're new to the channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button and the notification to catch all Bears content right here on the podcast. Bears fans, make sure you also do me a huge favor by also hitting the like button on today's episode of KIEQ on the Mic. So, Bears football is officially back as the rookies report for training camp tomorrow, July 16th, and the veterans will follow the rookies on July 19th with the official first day of practice being on July 20th. So first and foremost, Bears fans, on a scale of 1 to 10, how excited are you that the Chicago Bears are officially back? Let me know down below in the comment section, because right now, Bears fans, I am at 1,000 right now. I'm super excited, super pumped that the Chicago Bears are officially back. Training camp is going to be a sight to see. Of course, they're also going to be on Hard Knocks, so we'll get some deep intel on what's going on inside Halas Hall during training camp as well. It is going to be a fun time to be a Chicago Bears fan. And even though there is so much excitement this year around the Chicago Bears, there is still a little bit of concern that Odunze and quarterback Caleb Williams have yet to sign their rookie contracts. Obviously, when I'm looking at it, the hope is that they sign their contract when they report for training camp as soon as tomorrow. But there are still some nerves around Bears fans, including myself, that both of them could miss a little bit of time, or at least miss the start of training camp, which is something that you do not want to see, because it would basically put them behind on their preparation going into the new season. And at the end of the day, you don't want this to become a distraction for the rest of the Chicago Bears locker room as well. As we all know, last week we discussed that Adam Schefter actually reported that Williams' deal could be a little bit more complicated or challenging than Odunze. Adam Schefter thinks that Odunze will for sure sign when he reports tomorrow on July 16th for Chicago Bears training camp. But he also felt that Caleb Williams would be a little bit different. It would be a little bit more challenging, because it sounds like he is seeking to find ways to get more of a favorable deal under the CBA binding contract, which we both all discussed that it's probably not going to happen. I'm not sure how that's going to work out for Caleb Williams. We also have to realize that Caleb Williams doesn't currently have an agent, which could also complicate things a little bit further. You've seen in the past with other rookies that don't have agents that sometimes things can get a little bit complicated when you're just trying to negotiate on your own. But here's the good thing, Bears fans. Caleb Williams actually offers some clarity on the contract situation with the Chicago Bears when he talked to Colleen Kane of the Chicago Tribune during his charity event over the weekend, and it actually sounded very positive. Check this out, Bears fans. Bears QB Caleb Williams, when asked about the status of his contract and whether he'd report to camp Tuesday regardless. "I'm not handling that. My lawyer and attorney and everybody, the head of the Bears, everybody up there up top is handling that." Bears fans, first and foremost, that's very encouraging to know that even though Caleb Williams doesn't have an agent negotiating his deals with general manager Ryan Poles, that he actually hired a lawyer and a business team to handle these negotiations with the Chicago Bears and general manager Ryan Poles. Because once again, when you don't have an agent or you don't have a lawyer or a business team, things can get really cloudy. And if Caleb Williams was negotiating this deal by himself, I can very well see him missing the start of training camp. But to know that he actually hired a lawyer and a business team, hopefully things are a little bit more smoothly in negotiations with the Chicago Bears and general manager Ryan Poles. So it's obviously great news to hear that Caleb Williams actually has a team negotiating for him. And Bears fans, the great news is that Caleb Williams doesn't seem to be bothered about the situation in regard of his contract negotiations. Once again, he did say in his interview with Colleen Kane of the Chicago Tribune that he is not handling that. He's letting his lawyer and the business team and the Chicago Bears and Ryan Poles handle all of that. So it's good that he doesn't seem bothered. He's just ready to play football. He's focused on hopefully reporting to the start of training camp, and hopefully he doesn't miss any time, but he is not focused on the contract negotiations, which is actually really good news. So the bottom line about this, Bears fans, is that the deal actually needs to get done prior to the start of training camp. Once again, you do not want this to become a distraction. You want to make sure that Caleb Williams doesn't miss any time so he can prepare for the upcoming season. Because when you have a new quarterback, when you're learning a new system, when you're trying to create chemistry with a bunch of different guys, and even your offensive coordinator and Shane Waldron, you want to make sure you are absorbing all this information, and you don't need to miss any time because you need to prepare for the upcoming season, especially when you are a new quarterback in Caleb Williams. And it sounds like things are actually moving in the right direction. We still have a little bit of time before this situation becomes an actual crisis with the Chicago Bears and Caleb Williams in regard of his contract negotiations with the team. But the good thing, Bears fans, is that general manager Ryan Poles has a great reputation for getting deals done before they turn into an actual crisis for the Chicago Bears. He proved it last year with Cole Kmet, and even when he traded for Montez Sweat at the trade deadline last year, there was a lot of Bears fans saying, well, why would you trade a second-round pick if you're not going to get a long-term deal done? And there was a little bit of gray area there for a second with Montez Sweat, but then Ryan Poles was able to get a deal done. And then obviously earlier in the year with Jalen Johnson, he let Jalen Johnson actually test the market a little bit to see what his trade value was. And then he was able to get a long-term extension with Jalen Johnson done, especially when you thought that for a second, Jalen Johnson was actually going to be moved by the Chicago Bears at the trade deadline. So overall, Bears fans, general manager Ryan Poles actually really knows how to navigate these tough situations. And personally, the best thing to do is just let this process play out. We are on crunch time now, knowing that the rookies report tomorrow as soon as July 16th, with the first practice for the Chicago Bears and training camp starting on July 20th. So we are starting to run out of time, but I think the best thing to do for Ryan Poles and the Chicago Bears, for Caleb Williams, even as Bears fans, is let the process play out and just trust Ryan Poles with the situation. It seems that neither the Chicago Bears, Ryan Poles, or even Caleb Williams and his team are concerned about the situation in regard to his contract with the Chicago Bears. So that is obviously encouraging update to hear as a Chicago Bears fan. So I believe, in my personal opinion, that hopefully a deal gets done tomorrow with not only Caleb Williams, but Rome Odunze as well. Once again, you do not want this to drag out. You do not want this to become a distraction for the other guys in the locker room. Don't get me wrong. It would make probably for great content on Hard Knocks. I know there's a lot of Bears fans that commented down below in my last video talking about the whole contract situation around Caleb Williams, thinking that this is all for Hard Knocks, that they're probably going to sign their contract so they can have some content for Chicago Bears Hard Knocks during training camp. But I hope a deal gets done tomorrow, not only with Caleb Williams, but also Rome Odunze as well. So overall, Bears fans, I wanted to come on here really quick and just give you guys that quick little update. Things seems encouraging. It seems like things are moving in the right direction as well in regard to a Caleb Williams contract for the Chicago Bears prior to the start of training camp. But before I let you guys go, let me ask you guys this. Are you guys concerned that Caleb Williams may miss the start of training camp? Let me know down below in the comment section. But as always, make sure you continue to hit that subscribe button and the notification to catch all Bears content right here on the podcast. Make sure you follow me on all my social media platforms, and make sure you share this episode of KIEQ on the Mic with every single Bears fan that you know. Better than that, be back for our all-new Bears podcast right here on KIEQ on the Mic. Thanks, guys, and as always, bear down.
You've been listening to KIEQ on the Mic, a podcast all about the Chicago Bears. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and hit the bell notification to catch all Bears content right here on the podcast. Thanks, guys, and bear down.